I'm sure as you're tuning in, you're looking for the laughs to distract you from the atrocities of the world. And we just wanted to address the queer folks who are watching and say, hey, shit's a little scary right now. We fully know that. We are here for you.
Get in real close. We love you. We're angry. And you're going to stay alive. We're going to stay alive.
We're all in this together.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to do what queer people have done in every single time of adversity is we're going to lean in and help each other and survive to the best of our ability.
And if you need some help surviving, feel free to reach out to the resources below. Unfortunately, we are not mental health professionals.
No.
In fact, we need a lot of mental health professionals ourselves. Yeah. But we just wanted you to know, we are here for you. We see you. We know it's scary, but we're going to get through it. Hello, and welcome to Are Straight People Okay? The show where we check in with the majority to see,
oh God,
who the fuck did you vote for? Wow.
The numbers aren't looking good.
Really?
You really did that?
You did that?
You did that like you don't live on this planet and in this country with other people?
I'm your co-host, Amanda, and I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm a lesbian.
I'm Aliee Chan. My gender is a liberal disaster. My pronouns are gray gardens. And I'm a heterosexual woman. Contrary to what you might see on the internet, it's a lie, fake news. I love being in relationships with cis het men. I am so fucking kidding. I'm just covering all of my bases because, you know.
Before we check in with the straights, let's check in with each other. Aliee, how are you today?
Global politics aside, I had my gallbladder removed.
You sure did.
It was Halloween. My mom came to town, and my dog had a birthday.
Oh.
He's 2. How are you?
I'm okay. Mm-hmm. I also had a Halloween, and my girlfriend got me a boo basket.
I saw. That was so cute.
She watched the episode and got me a boo basket, and I was very surprised.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. And then I also got her a boo basket.
That's so nice.
So we boo basketed each other. So now let's make fun of the straights in a segment that we've done before on this channel, and we're going to do it again, called Maybe Don't Get Married. Da, da, da. We have here an image of a soldier from 1941 to 1945. Uh-huh. He looks very young in the 1941, and then after the war, he looks very scared and old. And okay, yeah, it's a very informative picture. Right. Unfortunately, the comment under it is just after 4 years of marriage. I don't know if you want to really equate marriage to war, and if you do, maybe don't get married.
Maybe reconsider marriage. Also, I will say on the note of this picture of a man aging, nothing has been better for my skincare than decentering men.
You're just going to start a skincare routine called
Ignore Men.
You're like, step 1, ignore men. Step 2, moisturize.
Thrive.
All right, in this image, we have the most beautiful event in a German marriage. And it's an older couple. It says Charlotte, who is 98, and Ludwig, who is 105. Wow. Hitler have been married for 81 years. When asked by the newspaper what was the best time in 81 years of marriage, Ludwig replied, the 5 years in Russian captivity. Hey, Ludwig.
Ooh.
What? You know, you could also not hate your life and maybe get a divorce. Maybe that's the next segment.
It's never too late.
Maybe don't get married. Maybe get a divorce. Yeah. As children of divorce.
Could not recommend it more. Unironically. Do it for the kids.
Please. Here we have a sign that says, hiding from my wife, bar phone rates. For $1, the bartender will say, nope, not here. For $2, the bartender will say, just missed him. For $3, the bartender will say, just had 1 drink and left. For $4, hasn't been in all day. $5, never heard of him. Please see bartender upon arrival.
Instead of hiding from your wife in a bar, you could skirt this whole problem by not getting married.
Instead of playing hide and seek, maybe play hide and don't get married.
Mm-hmm. Hide and go get a divorce.
Yeah. Talk to your wife and seek help. Moving on. This is from a meme. It says, how much for the torture device? And the person responding is, sir, that's a wedding ring.
Yikes. I have a fever and the only prescription is maybe don't get married.
This one says, a day without golf is probably your wife's birthday.
Oh, boy.
Hey, maybe instead of swinging for a hole-in-one, you swing for a don't get married.
Maybe you just shut the fuck up and get better wall decor. Just fucking get your ass out of Hobby Lobby. Stop shopping at Buc-ee's. If my husband's office was dedicated to how much he hates me, I would get a divorce. Speaking of straight people, they're coming for no-fault divorce. So we are saying maybe don't get married. It's actually probably in your best interest.
Don't get married.
To not legally shackle yourself to someone who could turn ape shit any fucking moment and then you can't leave. You think it's just us or just interracial marriage? No, bitch, it's you two.
Yeah.
You two, Serena Waterford, are gonna get the brunt of this.
Moving on. This meme says, doctors have just identified a food that can cause grief and suffering years after it's been eaten. It's called a fucking wedding cake.
Fucking wedding cake. The fucking's really doing it for me.
A lot of people eat wedding cake who aren't necessarily getting married.
You know what? I've eaten a lot of wedding cake, and I've never been married.
And I mean, there is grief and suffering, but it's not coming from the wedding cake.
It's just digestive. Maybe don't get married.
Maybe call up that baker and say, I would like to order one, maybe don't get married.
One order of don't get married, whipped cream frosting, some berries inside.
And a divorced cherry on top.
Yes.
Triple berry divorce. Moving on.
This one says, me on the way to ask my wife what's wrong with her, and it's a guy in a bomb suit.
'Cause our wife is a nuclear bomb.
She gonna explode.
Her hormones are on a monthly cycle, and I really am against her regulating it with any sort of outside help, like birth control or hormones. So I'm gonna make this problem worse by antagonizing her in my stupid little hazmat suit.
Who's making these memes?
Also, maybe don't get married, you dumb bitch.
I think it's probably pretty evident, but if you're tuning in for the first time and you're a straight person, you're supposed to like your partner. You're supposed to want to talk to your partner.
You're supposed to care about how they're feeling.
Like, not to bring up my relationship again.
Wait, do you have a girlfriend?
I have a girlfriend. We've been together it'll be a year on the 22nd.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we were like talking, and we were like, why does it still feel like we're in the honeymoon phase?
Because you like each other.
That's what it is. It's because we like each other and we're best friends and we like to talk to each other about everything.
Yeah.
I feel like the straights have come up with this like
bad marketing
honeymoon phase thing. Yeah. And I'm like, oh no, this is just what it's like all the time because I like my partner. Straights.
You did that thing that Big Pharma does where you invented a problem and then you also invented medicine about it.
Refreshing, calming, moisturizing. These are the words people use when they wear Fruity Productions merchandise. And we're doing a holiday drop. Along with our classic Happy Holidays and Christmas Carol sweatshirt, you can also get a Chapel Roan t-shirt, a Femme and Furious beanie, an Agatha Harkness mug, and more. Check us out now at fruityproductions.com and stay tuned for our Black Friday sale at the end of the month. Now, back to the straights. Speaking of marriage, Aliee,
Yes.
are you a fan of Love is Blind?
Sure am. Watched every single season.
Does that mean you watched the current season, season 7?
Absolutely did.
Great! So that's what we're going to talk about today because the straights be wildin' on Love is Blind.
Somehow we find a new and different sub-basement to crawl into where marriage goes to die.
But in case you're not familiar with what Love is Blind is a show on Netflix where they take a handful of singles who enter soundproof pods.
From the same city-ish.
From the same city, yeah. Oh, yeah, because this season was D.C., but there were some people from, like, Baltimore.
Maryland,
like
North Virginia.
And in these pods, they talk to each other, but they can't see each other's face. All they have to go on is their voice and conversation skills. The participants are stripped of all distractions, including cell phones, and live on set with the rest of the show's participants separated by gender. After a reasonable amount of time, about 10 days, give or take, the remaining couples still interested in pursuing the experiment get engaged. Yes, they get engaged after 10 days. If both members of the couple agree to the coupling, then they get to meet for the very first time before being whisked away to a honeymoon-type vacation in Mexico. There are like a lot of steps in the show, by the way. If they survive the honeymoon, then they go to the real world, where they live together for 4 weeks before they eventually get to the wedding day. And that's where they are at the altar, and they have to decide if love is blind. And there have been many instances, especially in past seasons, because there was at one point a fee for not going to the altar.
I heard.
Before, like in past seasons, if you didn't go to the altar, you would have to pay $50,000.
Nuts.
They stopped that because they got sued. So now there have been many couples who call it off before the altar. But in previous seasons, they would all have to go to the altar, and at the altar, in front of their friends and family, they would have to say if they wanted to go through with the marriage or not.
Listen, I really dislike gender essentialism, but what I really love is garbage. So I watch every season.
I want to make that shirt now with a raccoon that says, I hate gender essentialism, but
I love trash.
So, we have had this most recent season in DC, and here are some of the couples and what happened with said couples. We are going to start it off with a couple that didn't go to Mexico, but they did get engaged. And that's everyone's favorite, Leo and Britney. All right, so Leo and Britney were really funny in the pods, but also so uncomfortable when they met in person.
And they both probably voted for Trump.
They sure did. Well, they probably did. You take a man in his 20s who
has an art gallery that he inherited from his parents, but like he's so rich and he doesn't like bringing it up. Also, he's so rich.
And he brings it up all the time.
And he doesn't like bringing it up, but you just should know that he's so rich.
And has a Rolex.
And he has a Rolex, and it came from his parents dying. And yeah, that sucks because he's so rich from it.
And who better to pair him with than Britney, who's someone who dates models and athletes and wants to be treated like a princess, and realized that she had a problem with splitting bills 50-50 when talking to other men in the pods.
Yep.
Because she is definitely someone looking for a sugar daddy.
Yeah, and definitely like being more traditional if gender roles are your kink, like fucking go for it.
Yeah.
But these fucking people.
So they get engaged, of course. But when they have their first meeting, it is the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen on this show. Because it's clear that she is not into him at all. And in fact, let's just watch a little bit of it.
Okay.
Just come here. I really want to do is just like cuddle with you. Okay, there we go.
We're not comfortable with physical affection.
I don't know if men maybe need to like take up picking up on cues kind of class, because you can already tell by the way that she's leaning back from him. She doesn't want to get close to you, my guy.
Ew! What is his face?
I can't believe I'm looking at you.
I know.
No!
As he just hugs her more.
There has
She's so
never been
uncomfortable.
any less chemistry.
This is definitely one of the most awkward moments in my life.
Wow. Anyway, they didn't make it to Mexico.
But they did go to Miami together, where they decided to then break up.
Who'd have thought?
She got a trip to Miami out of it. Taylor and Garrett, I consider them the good straights. You know the song, Ain't Somebody Gonna Match My Freak?
Matched.
Their freaks were matched.
They both have dorky-ass science tattoos.
Yeah.
They let you have one good couple per season that are so unproblematic and delightful that it makes you believe in heterosexual love. And then the rest of them, they gather into a trash bag and they light it on fire.
And these good ones found each other, so no notes, 10 out of 10. But then we have Hannah and Nick.
Oh, boy.
And in the pod, Nick, everybody kept thinking he was so suave. In the pods, he came off so suave.
Because we're going off of just his voice.
And he even said to Hannah that he looked like Superman, a.k.a. Henry Cavill.
And the fact that y'all aren't giving him the same treatment as Chelsea, who said she looked like Megan Fox, is really telling about your fucking sexism.
He looks nothing like Henry Cavill.
Do you mean that you're both white men? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, Hannah is also deeply insecure and kind of takes it out on men, but also he's not helping.
It was overall not a matching experience, but let's watch.
Oh, the ducks.
Nick is an idiot. I'm sorry.
Okay. We're gonna race 5 yards in front of us. Yeah, we're gonna see who wins, okay?
He's a moron, dude.
This is the point where I was like, you guys aren't a good match.
Yeah.
He just wants to have a silly, goofy time She is so not into it. At that point, if you're not into these antics, then this might not be the one for you.
Listen, I've watched people get the ick about me in real time, so I have empathy about this.
Sure.
The person you're going to be married to should find your weird shit delightful.
Exactly.
You know, like if you hate the fact that I have an Instagram account for my dog, don't marry me.
Who would hate that?
People do. If you don't like that this dude wants to race you on a duck, don't marry him. And you know what? They didn't.
It was like a weird combination because she was kind of a dick to him and he was kind of useless. So it was like a really bad combination.
There was this one thing where she was like, hey, can you help do this thing in the kitchen? It was like boiling pasta.
It was boiling pasta and he did not know how to do it.
And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. How do you know when it's boiling? Oh, how much pasta should I put in?
Do you put it on a hot, medium? Do you put it on high?
And at that point, don't ask if you could help. You can ask if I can teach you something, and that'll set my expectations. But don't be like, yeah, I got it, and then don't got it.
Hannah did have a habit of like berating him and saying things like,
Are you mature enough, Nick? Because I taught you fucking everything that you fucking know. I turned into a boy into a fucking man.
And
I think you get treated like an equal when you start contributing like an equal.
which could just sound very straightforward, but it was pretty harsh to say.
Yeah.
If you want an equal partner, then I don't think that Nick was going to be a good choice. I feel like Nick is probably going to need a woman who likes his antics, but also doesn't mind teaching him everything and being a mother figure.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was Hannah for him.
Not Hannah.
Monica and Steven had a habit of saying some weird shit. Steven was very into kink, and it kind of came out slowly. There was a point where he talked about how he was like, you can stick your dick into a lot of different things. You can stick it into a bowl of macaroni and cheese. Like, it was just like weird. He said weird shit, not to kink shame. So here is one of the weirder things that he said that I was like, how the fuck did you get here?
Like, oh, I know your entire backstory. And for a lot of guys, like, there are women that are homewreckers out there that are like, I don't give a fuck what your situation is. I want to suck your dick.
Sorry. Listen, men, pourquoi? Where do we get the audacity? We are sitting next to a hot woman who is engaged to you, who loves you, and you have seen her in person for the first time. And what is top of mind for you is, hey, babe, I'm going to be kind of reality TV famous, and women will want to suck my dick. And we need to talk about it.
But anyway, later in the season, before the weddings, he went to do a sleep study. But he apparently got drunk before the sleep study, which I don't think that you can do.
You can't do that.
While in the sleep study, he was texting super kinky things to a girl that he once had like a kinky relationship with. And Monica found those texts.
I did make a completely stupid mistake while being drunk at a sleep test with somebody who texted me.
You were doing it today, Steven. Were you guys texting today?
No.
You weren't texting today. Okay, let me see your phone.
I deleted the message.
Look, it's really hard to bring up BDSM preferences on Netflix and the pods. I get it.
But also would appreciate the shit out of some representation, not like I do shit, but like if someone got in the pods and was just like, hey, Shabari, what's your comfort level with that? Just talk like a fucking adult who's gonna get married.
Yeah. Which brings us to perhaps the most disappointing couple of the season for me, and that's Marissa and Ramsay's.
Marissa, you deserve so much better. Ramses, go fuck yourself.
Marissa and Ramsay's were like considered the favorite in the pods. Like they seemed like they got along so well. Everything seemed so cute. I was like, are we gonna get two nice couples?
I liked her and Bowden better than her and Ramses.
I think I liked Ramses at first. The two of them seemed great. They were in the pods together. They got engaged. He's very sensitive, which I was like, he seems like a sweet little bi boy. I don't know if he's bi, but he seems like a sweet little bi boy.
He really does seem like a bi boy. He's very bi boy presenting.
I was very excited for them until the fight that brought everything down. It wasn't really a fight, more of a conversation, but still, I've never been like so, oh, this is what straights are dealing with? These undercover feminists. Until it's not convenient for them anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is what you guys have to deal with? This is insane.
Well, that's who fucked us during this election, are these, like, faux feminist men who get into the voting booth and then decide that they like theoretical money and power in...
And it is theoretical. None of you are going to become millionaires. I'm so sorry to tell you. The conversation that Ramses and Marissa had was about birth control. Mm-hmm. And she had mentioned that birth control changed her. And he was very nice up front when he said, I don't want you to be on any kind of drug that will like change your body. And I was like, oh, he's so nice about it. And then she was like, well, then we're going to have to wear condoms. And that's when the switch turned. And he was very instantly like, well, sex needs to be enjoyable for me. So, and I was like, oh, you're fighting condoms on this. Oh, this is the line that you're drawing. You need to be able to raw dog.
No man who is that defensive about condoms is a progressive feminist.
Yeah.
That's the biggest red flag.
Yeah, well, here's the pressure. I'm not gonna go on birth control.
Okay. Sounds good. We need to do what we need to do, but I need the sex to be enjoyable.
Listen, bitch. If you are putting your straight dick in a straight vagina, and you're like, under any circumstance, you know, and you are like, this could be better. You might not be straight.
I don't know if it's because I'm queer and because being queer means that you sometimes are not privy to the penetrative sex. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, if the only way it can be enjoyable for you is for you to be raw dogging, maybe that's a you problem, dude.
Yeah.
There are other things you can do.
There's so many different ways to have sex, y'all.
Yeah.
You're being very literal about it.
Anyway, straights.
I can't.
Have different sex, guys.
The fact that you can't fathom a different way to have enjoyable sex without raw dogging it lets me know that you're having boring sex.
There's a whole world out there of different things you could do, of different toys you could use. I feel like the Willy Wonka of like, welcome to the sex store. Everybody stay in line.
The everlasting gobstopper. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
If you see a little Oompa Loompa, be careful.
What are the Oompa Loompas going to do at the sex store, Amanda?
They're going to teach you about shibari.
The Oompa Loompas just come out with a rope.
That's Love is Blind. Straights, are you okay?
How would they even adapt this for queer people? Would it just be tops and bottoms?
Here's the thing. Everybody makes a joke about how they're like, oh, Love is Blind would be so funny if it was the lesbians because everybody would be engaged quickly.
No.
You know what I think would happen? Because, let's face it, lesbian community and queer women community, we heavily rely on looks too, in the sense that if a femme for femme ended up with a butch woman, what would happen? I would be curious to see what would happen if a femme for femme ended up with a butch, or if a butch for butch ended up with a femme.
I feel like we need more butch for butch representation.
It is the month of November.
Wow!
We are kicking off holiday season. We got some holidays coming up at the end of this month and in the month of December. Mm-hmm. And some people around this time, you know, they've been in college for a few months. Mm-hmm. They think, this is the time. This is the time to come out to my family.
I did the friends and family, excluding my immediate family, coming out tour during Christmas and New Year's of 2016, 2017, I forget. Yeah, so I came out during the holidays.
You know, before we talk to the queers on this, we want to talk directly to the straights. Mm-hmm. You might encounter someone that you love, a family member, a friend, who may be coming out to you. And we want to give you tips on how to properly respond to that. Mm-hmm. Mainly with love, but we're going to run a couple of scenarios past you.
This is your training module.
Yes. I will be your queer coming out.
Yeah.
And Aliee will be you, the straight. So I want you to get into character as a straight person.
I think I'm the closest thing we have to a straight person in this room, which is insane.
Including the dog.
Including your lesbian dog. All right. Hetero.
Mom, I want to give you the greatest gift of all. You never have to worry about surprise pregnancies. Because I'm gay.
Thanks shit, dude. Happy for you.
Supportive.
Yeah.
The thank shit cut the tension. Because sometimes this is a serious moment.
Every iteration you're going to get me, and I'm sorry about that.
Open and loving and very much just like happy for you, accepting. Please treat your friend, family member with love by saying thanks shit, happy for you, dude. We're going to do some more scenarios for you. Okay. So this time I'm going to be the straight person.
Okay.
And I want you to come out to me.
Hey. Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, thank you.
And Happy New Queer.
Are you the new queer?
For sure, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for having the courage to tell me that. I very much appreciate it.
Anytime.
I'm happy for you. I do have some questions if you would be willing to answer them.
Oh, sure.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And scene. And ask your questions. Let's do one more. So you're going to be...
This straight?
Yeah, you're going to be the straight again.
Okay.
Okay. Straight. Think Channing Tatum thoughts. Think
yes.
football.
I like watching Magic Mike because I like watching men.
Yeah, great. No, I don't want turkey.
Okay.
I know I used to have it at previous Thanksgivings, but I've never really liked turkey. I just thought I did because society wanted me to, because that's what's normal. But Mom, I have to tell you, I'm actually a vegetarian and also a lesbian.
So you're a vegetarian? Not to do gender essentialism, because I said veg.
Oh, yes. And scene. But yeah, just feel free to, straights, please treat your family members, your friends, treat them with love and respect, because they are no different than the person that you knew before.
So if you're receiving this message, don't be a dick.
Be an ally.
It's so easy to just let people live their lives.
But anyway, back to the queers who are watching this. If you want any more tips on how to come out during the holidays, here are some more lines you can use.
Cranberries are great, Mom, but not as good as the Indigo Girls, right, Aunt Carol?
That Yule-log is flaming, and so am I.
Yeah, I can help stuff the turkey. I'm like an expert at shoving my fist into small spaces.
Christmas trees are great, but I prefer a Hanukkah bush.
I want the mashed potatoes and also the sweet potatoes. I like both potatoes. When it comes to potatoes, I could go either way.
But in all seriousness, queers, if you are thinking about coming out, I want you to please, consider your safety and security in your home. Make sure you have a safety net, meaning a place in your home, a friend's house that you can go to and rely on if things maybe don't pan out the way that you wanted to. Make sure you have an ally, like somebody who might be part of that safety net. Arm yourself with answers and resources. You might have to answer some questions. It's up to you if you want to answer them, or if you want to just, give your family members some of these resources beforehand. Set boundaries and be clear about those boundaries, and then also just lead with compassion and empathy.
Yeah, it's called Coping Ahead. Thank you, therapy. Yeah, just run through all your worst case and best case scenarios, and good luck and Godspeed.
And let's face it, if you're queer, you already have anxiety, so you know how to run through those scenarios. Thank you so much for watching. Check out our Instagram or our YouTube page for the schedule for the month. Yep. Sometimes I stick to it, sometimes I don't. Who knows? This is a gamble. Where can people find you on the internet?
At Aliee Chan on Instagram and at Aliee McBeal on TikTok. Where can people find you?
They can find me at Awkward Holland on Instagram and on TikTok. Christina, where can people find you?
On Instagram at Christy_cropped.
Woo! Yeah! Come back next month. We're going to do some holiday things.
Yay!
Yay! Everybody be safe out there. Bye!
Bye!
No, wait. He said what? Oh, I know he did say that.
Name calling really isn't the answer. Hey, listen, we don't name call.
We
definitely do.
We do.